You have now entered the lab, episode 98. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing, listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen and watch this from. We appreciate it. Definitely, try to comment, try to interact with us, like the video here. As soon as you hear my voice saying it, it helps us out algorithm-wise, and gets people maybe that don't know us right now to get familiar with us as far as a podcast goes on YouTube or wherever. Leave a review on Apple. Always appreciated from the people that lock in with us every single week. We have a potential guest later on the episode. Last week, for those who tuned in to episode 97, we had somebody, things going on in the Middle East right now. We had somebody on, a friend of the pod, that talked more about one side than the other, Palestine, more than Israel. And we let that person speak on it. And we commented and had a great conversation open for 25 minutes. So if you want, go ahead and stop this if you're listening to this episode on Tuesday, because we're recording this on Monday, October 16th. Go back and watch that first and then come back to this episode, because you'll get the both sides of the argument. That's what we want to do on Enter the Lab. Have conversations, have dialogue, open to anybody. So we do have somebody coming on later on the episode to discuss the other side, because can't do one side without having the other side. That's how we like to do it on this episode and this podcast. Episode 100 is in 2 weeks. We're having a lot of guests on that. We want it to be almost no topics, just open to guests stopping by, past guests coming in, people who have been on the pod a couple of times, maybe one time, people who've stopped by, friends, family. So please, if you have time, and I think we're going to record it and we'll send out the date. We plan to record episode 100 of Enter the Lab on the day before Halloween, Monday, October 30th, 2023. So definitely, if you're listening to this episode, you want to talk about your company, you want to promo something, hop on for literally 30 seconds, or you want to hop on for, 5 minutes. Doesn't matter. We're going to have a lot of friends and people who have supported us over the last couple of years on the podcast. I throw it to Fort Sama for the paid and unpaid sponsors.
Thank you, sir. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. I like
Thanks.
how you appreciated everyone has tuned in and subbed.
I've been practicing.
I see that. I do want to mention that we are about 14 subscribers away from 200.
Ooh.
So we're getting there.
Mentioned that in a while. Haven't mentioned that in a while.
We're getting there. So if you're tuning in right now, I see there's more than 14 people tuned in. So if you're tuned in right now, double check, make sure you're subbed to the YouTube. You can mute us. Doesn't matter. I'm just worried about that number. But yeah, as you said, we do have some freaking sponsors, believe it or not. We've been marketing, we've been doing our thing and branching out our logo. Broward Vintage in the building. Very locally sourced in South Florida. New men's and women's clothing. It's your one-stop shop for vintage stuff. This is all the rave right now, vintage stuff. Before you go on to these IG ads that you get and, all this stuff on Instagram or Twitter, why don't you check someone out that's in your backyard?
Okay, cool.
I love when you don't wear pants. That's not part of the ad, by the way.
Vintage.
There you go.
Right here.
Champion,
Vintage. People love these crew neck. It's called a...
You still have that Jeff Gordon?
Reverse
I'm
weave.
going to need that Jeff Gordon. I'll pay for it. I need that
I
Jeff
gave it back
Gordon.
to Ben, so you have to DM him. So
I'll have to DM him.
Reverse weave right here. People that know clothing know what this means. We're posting a lot of these next week.
Yeah, shop on eBay. Link is in the description in our link tree. It's on our Instagram bio. It's on our Twitter bio. It's on our YouTube bio, so it's not hard to find. Value prices for every item listed. DM Broward Vintage for items you want to potential. Also, you did mention last episode he does buy vintage clothing. So if you have anything that you might potentially want to get rid of, need to get rid of, doesn't fit you anymore, whether put on a few pounds or lost a few pounds, either or, hit him up and see what can happen. Also, not official, but will be official soon. BR Boys, Billionaires Row.
Working on a contract.
Yeah. Or, even if you don't want to do that, just connect us with somebody you may know. Someone that you have a mutual connection with, and have them on the pod. Both Patrick and they were both on the pod.
Absolutely.
So
maybe one of them will show up to episode 100.
Both of them. Let's do that. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, man. I had a long weekend.
Anything else?
No. Oh, water, caviar, champagne.
Season to be jolly. A lot of seasons,
Yeah, it is holiday season. So, not few easier things. I don't think easier is the good word, but it's a good gift when you give someone a bottle, a decent bottle from Billionaires.
It is nice.
They
got their rosé, which is I think a little expensive.
That's your shit, huh?
Worth it. I'm telling you, I had a bottle.
Don't say expensive. We went over this.
Yeah, you're right. A little above the budget. I had a bottle of rosé that wasn't from Billionaires Row yesterday, just to treat myself.
It wasn't the same.
Sunday, and it wasn't the same. So
didn't hit.
I'm gonna need a bottle ASAP because that thing is crisp. So appreciate you guys for tuning in and sponsoring and officially sponsoring Enter the Lab. Appreciate y'all. What I do want to talk about and lead off with is South Florida, October. We got sports. We got football on today. We got hockey. We got preseason basketball, college football, women's lacrosse, whatever we have going on. But more important,
and WNBA finals.
Yes, WNBA finals. Shout out. What more importantly we have in South Florida right now is 78, a high of 78 degrees. Oh, it is beautiful. It's a chef's kiss today. Today I woke up, had a nice breakfast with some friends down in downtown Fort Lauderdale by the beach. I had to wear jeans. I had to wear a long sleeve shirt because it was a little brisk. It was a little windy. Right now, it's 70 degrees. It's a low of 64. I feel like a meteorologist right now, but you could smell the pumpkin spice in the air right now in South Florida.
Pumpkin spice.
You could smell the turkey for next month. You could smell the chestnuts roasted on an open fire. This is the season right now. We got weather. We got sports. I am coming.
You are what?
Coming.
All right.
It's amazing. What last weekend we talked about how sports is at the elite level. Now you're giving me weather that's at the elite level. I mowed my lawn today and I didn't have to sweat. I don't think I sweat the whole time mowing the lawn today. That was spectacular. I did shower before the podcast, but I didn't have to if I didn't want to.
You didn't have to if you didn't want to. Yeah, I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I try and shower before most of the podcasts, unless we're just running out of time. So it's 59 here right now.
That's what I'm saying. If it's 78
it's beautiful.
Here, it's got to be luxurious there.
This morning was great. The whole day was nice, and I loved it because I had to do some stuff in one of them truck containers today. Mm-hmm. So in the middle of summer, that shit is the worst. But today it was bearable. And I'm
dude, if there's ever a time to talk about weather, it's right now. Obviously, pools are closing. My mom sent me a picture in New York. They officially closed the pool this week. My pool hasn't been gone in some time. We tend not to go in the pool after September for some reason. It just, I guess, not hot enough. I'm one of those South Floridians officially now that don't go in a pool in October till maybe April. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's almost a sin to have to pay for all the things I do to upkeep it throughout the winter and don't go in it. I probably should go in it this weekend just to prove myself wrong. But
what are you
little bougie.
What are you gonna prove yourself around? What are you gonna prove yourself wrong about?
If I go in the pool, it means like, all right, I went in the pool for the first. I literally haven't gone in the pool since living here in October, probably since living here. So I do want to break that.
You take note of that?
That record up. I do take note. I do because my birthday.
No, you don't.
is no, my birthday's in September. Usually I have a pool party. And then after that pool party, I never go in the pool after. So that's how I could literally tell you I don't go in the pool after October, because after my birthday party that I had here for the last 5 years, I don't go in it. So it's maybe I got to make it out there. But speaking of cold weather, you're going to get a little culture shock in many ways.
I can't wait. This
weekend, Dolphins, Philly. We won't talk about football too much. Let's talk about more of the experience that you'll go through. Have you ever gone to an away game? What away games have you gone to? Have you ever gone to Philly? I have, not for a sporting event, but talk about more of the experience that you're about to experience going up into Lincoln Financial Field, if that's still what it's called.
Yeah, that is still what it's called. I've never been to Philly. By the way,
do you feel like I'm on my hosting shit right now? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, you kind of are. You kind of.
You're
not giving me anything. Relax. Never been to Philly. I don't think I've been that far up north on the East Coast. I didn't know I didn't realize how close Philly was to Jersey. I'm like, yo, this shit's right. It's right there. So, I'm excited, man. I have been to away games, not NFL away games. I've been to, trying to think, no NFL away games. I've been to 2 games at the Jag Stadium. First game was Saints versus Packers. Saints won 38-3. Rodgers had the worst.
So not rooting for your team, just rooting neutral.
Yeah. Rodgers had the worst game of his life. And then the second game I went to was Jags Colts. Jags won 24-0. It was week 2 last year.
Wow. Okay, first visiting game. That's a big deal.
NFL game, yeah. But I've been to a lot of like away games.
Okay.
And like neutral site games. So
got you.
Bro, I'm just excited because
what do you project it to be? Do you project
as far as the game wise? I hope so.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to fight, but obviously, if it comes down to it, I have to protect myself.
You and Berto?
But I no, it doesn't need to come with that. I hope I get a lot of shit talk. Obviously, I got a bunch of Dolphin shit. I had to get my Dolphins ski mask that, shout out Vito. Vito got me. So I'm going to wear that. I got a few jackets. I just copped this. I got some socks.
Okay.
I got some socks. I got a hat.
All out, head to toe.
Yeah, the whole weekend, bro.
Yeah, if you're gonna wear if you're gonna wear a jersey,
the whole weekend. I got a Dolphins fit.
Go all out.
I got a Dolphins fit for every day of the weekend. I'm flying in wearing Dolphin shit. Flying into that Philly airport wearing Dolphins. And
what's Berto rocking? Because I know
he's the Eagles fan. He copped the Devontae Smith jersey.
Is Berto all over the place with fans he roots for? Because I know he roots for the Warriors.
He's a Magic fan. He's a Warriors fan. Yeah, he's a little all over. He's a little over the place.
Call that a little Fugazi.
Yeah, hey, but no, but I will say this: as long as I've known him, he's been an Eagles fan.
You're not Fugazi as a person, but as a fan, you are. I respect you as a person. I love you. You're awesome. I love the hangs when we hang. But like as a fan, Fugazi.
Yeah, you gotta tighten it up a little bit.
So those that don't know, Berto.
But hey, he's been to all those spots. He's been to all those spots. So technically, he can root for them.
Okay.
Dog, I got decent seats.
I'm excited for you to go through. I'm excited.
I got decent seats. So you know how you have the entrance to when you go to your seats. The thing. Okay. The gate. It's not called. Is it called a gate? No, it's called the section. The section entrance. We're like sitting right in front of it. So if we win, I'm right there, bro. I'm taking off. I'm running out. Yeah. I'm running out that bitch. Putting my fucking shiesty on. I'm taking off.
Yeah, bro.
Running to where? I don't know, but I'm getting the fuck out that stadium.
I mean, I genuinely mean this when I say it. Philly's the only place I would say, like, please just be careful because it's one of those things that anything can happen, anything will happen. Philly, they don't have lives. Philly fans, Philly humans, they live for one thing, and that's New Yorkers. We're passionate about our sports. We love our sports. We'll have outrageous takes. We'll bleed it, whatever. But we got other things going in our lives. We have a great. Usually we're successful. We have great jobs. We're hustling and bustling, moving and grooving.
You saying this shit about Philly fans? If there's any Philly fan watching this that sees me next week, and beat my ass just because of what you say.
But what I'm saying is, Philly fans, they need this in their life. Like they're the little cousin of the Northeast. You know, they're the little cousin that never gets to hang out, or he's not cool enough.
You'd say the bastard child.
Yeah, because you got New York, New Jersey, and New Jersey shares Boston, that a little bit.
New England.
But then, exactly. But they've been winning championships across the board. Yeah. New York, for the most part, let's call it. But like Philly, they ain't winning across. Now they're with the Sixers here. They have a good team with the Eagles. They obviously could make the Super Bowl again back to back. With the World Series, they got something brewing here, but they're always right there on the cusp, but never win. So. Man, they need sports. They need it for their lives. So you don't want to fight somebody with black Air Forces on. So if they got black Air Forces, brother.
See, I'm reversing the tables. I'm the Uno fucking reverse card. Oh, yeah? I'm wearing my black Air Forces, bro. I'm wearing my black Air Forces out there. Do you think that's a good idea?
Unpaid sponsors in.
Do you think that's a good idea? I'm wearing black Air Forces. I'm just
dude. It might be your only it might be
like a deterrent. Like might be my deterrent.
Like a turtle with a shell. You know, like where you want to attack somebody, be like, oh, nothing I'm gonna do to attack this person is gonna work.
Did you just refer to me? Did you just refer? You know, are you trying to be funny? No, are you trying? No, listen. Are you trying to be funny about? Oh, are you referring to the turtle video that attacks only the black Air Forces and not the white ones?
No, I didn't know that. Oh my God, that's
wait, no, you're lying, bro. You're such a liar. You're capper, bro.
As we're 17, 18 minutes into the podcast, so this is usually we use Enter the Lab. If you're new to it, we usually use the first 15, 20 minutes to fuck around. No topics, just kind of create a podcast. Then we either go to a guest or go to some topics. But we have the guest coming on probably in whenever Fort sends the link, and it might turn a little serious. So we always on Enter the Lab have timestamps in the YouTube description and every episode on audio. So you could go ahead and skip ahead if you don't want to hear about the topic we're going to discuss, Israel and Palestine. But I thought this probably will be the last episode we do discuss about it, because we don't want to prolong it. It's kind of
honestly shout out us too.
Going too long.
Shout out us because we've had a guest on like 4 out of the last 5 episodes.
I told y'all 10 episodes, 15 episodes ago that we're going to try to get on more guests. So we've held our part. Obviously, if you want to hop on, promote whatever you got going on. Obviously, this conversation will be a little bit more heavy, but we're unafraid to go a little outside the box as far as a conversation, as far as topics. So if you want to fucking talk about OnlyFans and you're an OnlyFans person, if you want to talk about your business, we'll talk about that. We're very diverse in the conversations that we have in real life. And this is real life to me, because there's nothing I'm holding back or saying. There's a couple words I might not use on this podcast in real life, but we won't talk about that.
What are those words?
You have that video pulled up?
No, I can't find it. I'm trying to look for it, but it's hard to find.
Yes. Did I lose you?
I'm trying to find.
Did I lose myself? Oh, wait.
I'm here.
I think I lost myself here. Hold on. Can't hear you. Oh, hello? Yep, I can hear you now.
Sorry,
I lost a little audio.
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
There's some AirPods, bro.
No, it's the new Apple update on my thing. If I pull up Twitter or anything on my phone or my iPad and I try to do multiple things, obviously we're trying to look for like local new trends on Twitter to give you maybe live news in the world or sports. The audio, I gotta figure out why it transfers to my phone from my Mac. I'm all Apple. I'm a junkie for Apple. So I got a Mac, I got an iPad right here, I got my iPhone, and they all are communicating with each other, but they got to get their shit together is what I'm trying to say. I don't like it. What do we got here?
You've never seen this, man?
Turtle always chooses black Air Forces. Oh, shit. He about that life.
Bro.
He's up that way.
Bro. He wants to smoke with the black Air Force too.
Yeah, he wants it. I like it. Oh, and okay. I've never seen this before. What kind of turtle is that? Is that a snapping turtle? Oh yeah, that's a snapping turtle, I believe. I believe that's that's an aggressive. Yep, he goes right for the black. Yeah, that's racist too, and I don't want to throw accusations.
All right, this music's killing me.
This turtle deserves his time in court, but I think this turtle might be a little bit prejudiced towards one color of shoe than the other. So we don't do this on that. We don't do that on this podcast. We like to make sure all turtles are safe, and also all turtles love every color of
all turtles matter.
All turtles matter. All opinions matter. All lives might not matter, but there's some stupid people out there that be doing stupid shit that they probably, I call it self-eliminate themselves. I see things on Twitter where I'm like, oh, look, you got self-eliminated. You probably deserve that. What else we got here? You want to send the link out? Well, it's too early.
I just texted her. I was we'll send you links soon.
Give it a few. Yeah, exactly. So, let's hit some topics right now. Let's go to...
Let it simmer.
Yeah, let's go to football last because we let off with football lately.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl because it's the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
I got no
Miami
team.
Dolphins,
I got no team in the race. I got none left.
Just start Tyrod Taylor, fam, please.
Yeah, right. We'll get into that in a little bit. But let's talk the UFC 294 card for October 21st, which is this Saturday. Talk to me about that, how it changed. You got the USADA doping. Dana White came out.
USADA tripping.
They came out of nowhere, and Dana White was mad. He was on Pat McAfee saying that they came out of nowhere and said that they're no longer keeping the relationship. I heard a lot of things about the testing, the doping. It's USADA that does the doping. But talk about the card that changed. Talk about who was projected. If you want to show it, that'd be cool because we're a visual podcast. If you want to show the card that was or the card that will become, the viewers didn't lose in this.
Not at all.
Pay-per-view. We
not one bit.
Some may say we upgraded. So that's the one thing about the UFC. The show must go on. Pay-per-view will go on every single week.
No matter what.
They have it planned and they will perform. And I fucking love the UFC for that. That's why they overtook boxing. And the next topic we get into after UFC will show why they're better than the industry or the sport of boxing.
So this is the current card.
Go ahead,
this is the current card. We'll go from the prelims. Bruno Silva. I'm not gonna talk about. Nathaniel was good. That'll be a good fight. He's good. He's fun to watch. This is a ranked matchup. That's a feature prelim.
Prelims, yep. And then main card here.
And then main card stacked.
Got a bunch of Russians on there, huh?
It's in Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Whenever I see a lot of consonants, is that the opposite of a vowel?
A consonant, yeah.
Is that the word? Okay, so I misuse words sometimes, so call me out on it if you want. But whenever I see a lot of N's and M's, I know that's a Russian dude, and I want to watch him.
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
No, God, I'm under that love. I can't talk.
Whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah. This guy and I share the same chest hair. This guy is good. Alice Sakharov. I've seen him fight a few times. He's good. I'm really hype about this one. Obviously, besides the co-main and main, this is a big light heavyweight matchup. This is top 10 matchup. Ankalaev just tied with Jan. Jan and him had a draw, and Johnny Walker's I think like on a 4-fight win streak. He's been doing a lot of good things since he got knocked out by Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill. Pop. Former lightweight, heavyweight champ. But co-main and main fight, man. Main event. The co-main was supposed to be Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev, but Paulo Costa had like 3 elbow surgeries in a span of like a month and a half or whatever. I'm not sure what he had. Some I don't know what he posted on Twitter, but I will say this: he is way more active on Twitter than he is fighting in the UFC. But he's a pretty good follow on Twitter. In comes Kamaru Usman out of nowhere, fighting at middleweight, going up from 170 to 185. I'm fucking here for it. Chimaev likes to take people down. Usman has the best takedown defense in the fucking UFC. This is a matchup made in heaven. Usman is a former champ. I've gotten a lot of people talking to me about Usman's had a crazy fall off. No, the fuck he has not.
He's still going to get opportunities, man. He's sellable.
Yeah. Usman has 2 losses. His first L came off a head kick with 40 seconds left in the fight that he was dominating. And then, he rematched against Leon Edwards. And once you get that belt, you become 30% better, they say. And Edwards did that. He held his own, and Usman didn't do enough. Why, I don't know, but those are his 2 L's in his life professionally.
I've never watched a... Yeah.
He might be a little bit boring, but he was active and he fought and he gave the fans.
Dude, those 2 matchups right there, those are the 2 matchups that weren't supposed to happen. Like, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You just replaced a great card with 2 matchups that were supposed to happen, and then you replace it with, like, I probably prefer these two. It's
Most UFC fans would, honestly. I'm a big Charles Oliveira fan, so I'm a little upset that he had to pull out. But I'm not upset. I'm not upset about what they did. I could see why people would say it's a better card and it's fun. It's more fun. I'm really hype about the Usman Chimaev fight. It's going to show a lot about both fighters. Usman's plus 285. That's good odds. Usman's a champ.
Usman is favored.
No, he's not favored. No, Chimaev is favored.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because right? I can't see the graph.
He's a big favorite, minus 360.
Sorry.
Minus 360.
I didn't have it zoomed in. Okay, cool. Got you. Ooh, that's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the main event, fucking Islam Makhachev versus Volkanovski. That's the second time they fought. First time they fought, a lot of fans say that
a lot of controversy.
Yeah, it was very controversial. I don't see it.
I've never seen a Volk fight I didn't like.
Yeah, Volk's entertaining. He gives it everything he's got every single time.
Bro, if you're new to UFC, you never really watch Volk fight, this is the matchup you want to see because this man is small in stature, but he couldn't be bigger in heart, desire, all the intangibles, and with the tangibles. I don't know enough to break it down analytically, but I know this motherfucker, every time he fights, you're going to want to watch. He's must see in the UFC every single
We will have. I am trying to plan some time to have a live with Daquad Saturday night. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing Saturday night this weekend, but if I'm in an area where I could do something, we will go live off Instagram with the cool. Cuban John Anik. But yeah, I mean, it's in Abu Dhabi. Islam's obviously going to be heavy fan favorite. He's minus 340, but Volk is a champ. Islam is a champ. They've both been there. They both fought each other. I don't know, man. I wanted to see Oliveira fight so badly because I love Charlie Olives and I thought he could get his belt back, and that's my guy. I want to see him have the belt. I don't know why he was sparring that hard, but yeah, for a double champ, we can get a double champ. I hope Volk gets it and gets a double champ because he deserves it. But Islam is gonna fucking Islam. They're both dogs.
Yeah,
both dogs.
That's exciting, and the fact that it's in the other side of the world and that they were able to change this up 2 weeks.
Prelims start at 10 a.m. Prelims 10 a.m.
Yep.
Main card starts at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Yes. That's you all know now. Monday night.
Yeah, that same night, that same day, I think I have a couple parties to go to. Or Not this weekend. Maybe. Do I have the parties to go to? I might have something to go to, but I'm gonna make sure that
guy, man.
Shit.
I don't even get invited to parties. You get invited to multiple parties. I do. That's crazy.
It helps when you're.
I want to be like you.
Yeah, I got a good life, but I make sure I always got the
good life.
I always make sure I got the 5 Ps. You invite me to your crib, I'm probably bringing a Fire Stick, a Chromecast, and my iPad. So
what do you mean by Fire Stick?
If you need me to fucking Fire Stick it up and you got the app and you want to pay for the fight, I'll throw it on. Fire Stick connects to any TV. Chromecast I'm not gonna use the word illegal, but if I was to use the word illegal, I could stream it for you. I think I could hit somebody up.
You just find a few links. You just click on some things.
Yeah, a couple links. I clip on a couple things. So this Saturday, lock into UFC 294. It's going to be amazing. And non-paid
sponsor, Dana White. Holla at your boy. I'm ready. Don't matter. Just hit me up.
The next few pay-per-views for UFC will be lit. McGregor, rumored.
You saw it as a piece of shit.
John Jones will fight again by the end of the year. We got Tyson Fury on
Colby Covington
2 weeks from now. Tyson Fury versus Ngannou in a boxing match. Yeah. That will be alive because Ngannou's he was on Rogan lately talking about so many contracts, how UFC, when you if they text you or email you or call you, hey, can you fight this date, and you decline it, they could extend your contract another 6 months. He talked a lot.
Yeah, and then they don't also reach out that much anymore for more opportunities. So you kind of have to just be ready for it.
Yeah, so there's some things. I love always the business behind everything. I love sports for the business, for obviously the sports on the court, on the field, in the squared circle, as they say. But also I love the business behind it because some of these guys that get money that, like Floyd has set the precedent in combat sports. And, Brock Lesnar on the other side with WWE, UFC early on. Logan Paul's doing it now. And that's a great segue. What was your takeaway about Logan Paul versus Dylan Danis? First and foremost, it was during the day as well. What was your take on it? And I'll put my opinion on
it. Hella boring. I feel like Danis did this to get money, of course. He got paid.
He's a clown.
So did Logan. He's a clown, but he promoted the fight, and he promoted the fight
well
in a way that made me want to tune in because I don't feel that he did enough fighting in the actual fight to back up what he was doing on Twitter. And also, Dylan Danis did it so wild and crazy and honestly something that we haven't really done before. We've heard stories about people talking about other people's girls like on the field and during a game and, shit like that. But it hasn't been something that athletes or people have done on social media. And not only did Danis not respond to how I would have liked to seen it in the ring, I don't think that Logan Paul reacted how I would have liked to seen someone that for months has been dragging your fiance all over social media, dude. And we haven't even talked about it because I haven't really obviously I know what it's been done for, but a lot of podcasts and there's been a lot of social media stuff behind it that have talked about it. It was whatever to me. But
I do respect Logan Paul.
You got to do more, bro.
I do respect Logan Paul for remaining cool.
He got hit with the mic.
Low key or high key.
Mic thrown at him.
In the last round, I was literally expecting, or if I projected myself in him, I would have hit him in the fucking nuts intentionally. Wait. What? My body and his body? Pause.
I projected myself in him.
Yeah, if I was him and everything was said and I knew I was going to win the boxing fight, I would have done some crazy shit. So there is a big respect where he remained professional, and a part of it is because he's a part of WWE. So his image and likeness and sellability is, he could have easily done the viral thing of doing some dirty shit to Dylan and, disrespecting his fiance. And that a girlfriend is different from a fiance, and a wife is different from a fiance. And man, he could have done some dirty shit that he would have been okay about doing, and he didn't do it.
He would have been in the right.
He would have been in the right, and he chose to honor the sport of boxing, honor the contract, and Dylan DANIS was trying to get him down in some UFC shit after he knew he lost, and yeah, it wasn't.
He
cool,
did more.
so.
He did more action and more fighting and whatever after when all the security started rushing in and whatnot.
Logan Paul called out Rey Mysterio.
It's a waste of time.
He's gonna come out for the UFC US championship, which now he's gonna easily switch over to WWE's as superstar, and he's serious about it, and he puts in work, bro. So understandable if you're not a wrestling fan or a WWE fan, you got to respect that Logan Paul could kind of do it all. I don't, as a personality, I think he's corny. I think he's cheesy, and I think he tries a little, but he has a following, and that's what WWE wants and likes. So he's going to fight Rey Mysterio, allegedly. I think
is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, he's going to fight him for the U.S. belt, and I think from my sources that he's going to win the U.S. belt and, try to give him some legitimacy in WWE, which he should. He's earned the right to. He has the following. He has the gravitas to sell some tickets. So I think people want to see him wrestle. So the second fight, the main card of that, or the main event, was KSI and Tommy Fury. What was your thoughts on that? Right before we have our guest on.
I didn't watch it
in a few minutes. No, you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch. No.
I'll give you my 2 cents. Tommy Fury.
I was just so disappointed by the fight before. I was like, I'm not.
Thank God I have multiple TVs, because if I had one TV, this would not have made the cut.
Flex.
Yeah, I mean, it's just real. Tommy Fury is a legitimate fighter. Comes from the Fury family of fighters. Obviously, Tyson Fury is his brother, and for Tommy Fury not to win that from bell to bell is crazy. It lets me know that he's not as good as a boxer as maybe we thought, because there's no way KSI, a guy that's a YouTuber, a influencer, a Twitch, what are we talking about? Like watching, play video games, all that.
A streamer.
There's no way somebody could train for 5 years, 7 years, and go round for round with you. Yes, Tommy Fury won by it was not a unanimous, and then they changed it allegedly to it was 2 judges to 1. But if you can't beat him bell to bell in an 8-round fight, you probably don't deserve a real boxing match. And it lets you know that's why he's taking the money. But KSI, he held his own. If I'm going to analyze it for what it is, then I'm going to call it that he held his own, and KSI did his thing, and I thought he won. Me and Ben were watching it from Broward Vintage in the lab, and we thought that he won the fight, and Tommy Fury won it. So boxing is very gimmicky at this point. Obviously, Canelo is doing his thing as far as pound for pound, the best boxer. You got Wilder, you got Tyson Fury, and you got Anthony Joshua holding down the heavyweights. But man, boxing is taking a backseat to UFC, which we talked about. The cards that are coming up are undisputed. We'll pause on that. We have our guests enter. Yeah, thanks, man. We have our guests entering the lab. We'll let Fort Sama take over that, and then we'll get into a healthy, good conversation about what's going on in the world. Like I said, last week we had somebody talking more on the Palestine side and how he's affected on his family, and we had a great not even debate, just conversation. I don't want to talk about debate because that's not what we do here. We have conversations, and we do have somebody coming into the lab that will say the other side and how it affects them and how it affects their family, and then we'll leave it to you guys to maybe hopefully be a little bit more educated on our discussion. So go ahead, Fort, take it away.
Thank you, sir. So the reason I kind of want to have this conversation is just because I don't feel like there should be, I hate using the word sides with this kind of stuff, because it's just, especially if we're not like directly affected by it, it's kind of hard for us to take a side, because it's sensitive. It affects people in ways that we can't comprehend how it would affect them. But also, I said this last week, I kept seeing just posts about it and whatnot. And it's just from people that really don't know what's going on. And it kind of pissed me off. And the only person at this point that I knew that could kind of shed some light, and someone that I felt was posting for the right reasons for them, I wanted to have him come on and kind of just shed some light on how it's affected him and what's going on. And you know, I had someone that reached out to me and told me what they thought about it. And they had someone that could come shed light about whatever, how they might be affected. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome, because that's what I want to do here. So this is Hilary. I've never met Hilary. It's through a mutual friend. I'm excited for her to come on. She's excited to join us. And before I answer her, we're not taking sides or whatever. I just want this topic to be talked about because it's going to affect us in some kind of way sooner than later. Mm-hmm. And it's been happening for a while, and it needs to be discussed. And I want to have people that know what they're talking about also inform me about it. And that way I can have a conversation. Hilary, welcome to the lab. Thank you.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Of course,
nervous,
absolutely.
But very excited.
Nah, don't be nervous. We want everybody to be comfortable with the lab. We thought about it when we started this podcast. Like, the lab is somewhere where you can go discuss what you want to be discussed about, not feel judged, not feel any way like this is the lab. Like, you just want to know what you got going on, how you feel about it, how it's affected you, kind of just shed some light about it, and we can go from there. Because I've been passionate about this. I've been looking at a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff from both sides. There's a lot of media, so I appreciate you coming, even though we've never met in person. That's awesome.
No, we have not. So it was very, very excited to be here. I'm very passionate about these things. I'll preface this by saying, just so you guys know a little bit about me, I am a raging Republican. I'm very, very passionate about politics. I'm very passionate about being a Jewish American. So when this all started, this particular war, I should, specify that, when that started last week, and I've been saying this to my friends, and I kind of feel embarrassed saying this, but I was walking up the stairs. I was visiting my parents in New York. My dad had the news on. I saw that there was a conflict in the Middle East, and my first thought was, it's conflict in the Middle East. Like, what's new? And then my dad just had the news all day, and I was like, goodness gracious. And then I started to realize what was going on, and I have been glued to my phone and to the news since last Saturday. Like, you wouldn't believe. I don't even like my phone. Like, let me just tell you that. I don't even like my phone. So I've really been on top of it. This is something I'm very, very passionate about. So that's a little bit about me. I am a Jewish American. I grew up Jewish. My mom is Jewish. My dad is Catholic. But usually the tradition is that the women's religion, the kids take the woman's religion. Religion was never really terribly important to my dad. Not something I would say to my grandma. But that's just what it was. And, this is a war that is so incredibly heart-wrenching on both sides. It is so, so sad. And I just want to educate. I don't, like you guys said, my thing is that, in my opinion, and I think I've found a lot of people online who agree, but it's not the louder majority. This is not Palestine versus Israel. This is not Muslim versus Jews. This is a war on terrorism, and it's as simple as that. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and that has been said not just because I'm saying this as a Jew. I'm saying this as it's a terrorist organization that has been defined by the US, Canada, UK, and 35 countries of the Organization of American States. So I'm not just saying that because of this attack. I say it because this is what it is. They use suicide bombers. They will bomb areas of populated areas. It's really, really sad. I keep saying and I'm catching myself. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I have written down in my phone not to say and like and a lot of other words that I find annoying from other podcasts. It's okay.
We've done 140 episodes, and just now I'm starting to get better at that. So
That makes you feel better.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're great. I feel the fact that you started saying that, oh, just another conflict in the Middle East, and it was just like another day was just that's sad in itself. What was so? I know this has been going on for a while. This isn't new. This war per se that started a week and a half ago isn't something that's out of nowhere. I really want to know what triggered that. What was the beginning of that? How did it start, and how did we get to where we're at? Yeah,
where did it escalate again?
So the new beginning of it was this kind of, in my personal opinion, this is an opinion.
That's all you can speak on.
Right. This is a drop from like an intelligence agency, whether that's in Israel, whether it's here in the States. This was the 50-year anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, which was a crazy, crazy war. The fact that Israel even prevailed after that war is wild. It was the end of a Jewish holiday, which it was also Shabbat. So in my opinion, for this to go completely unseen is wild to me. I just can't believe that. There was a part where Saudi Arabia and Israel were reaching a potential peace agreement. And I think from the news and the research I've been doing, that was a little bit of an accelerant for Hamas to do this. They don't want peace in the Middle East. That's just not what they want, because they don't care about Palestinians at all. Now, when they attacked last Saturday, and they did a surprise attack, the thing is that Gaza has been blockaded since Hamas came to power, which was like 2005, 2006. And that's not just blockaded from the Israel side. It's also from Egypt. Egypt wants nothing to do with this because they don't want to be infiltrated by a terrorist organization. And who can blame them, right? There's 19 Arab countries in the Middle East who have not tried at all to help these Palestinian and like innocent civilians at all. It's because when you start with a terrorist organization like that, who has power, who has money, who has weapons, that's scary for free people. They don't like Western civilization. And though this attack was on Israel and a surprise attack, and in their, beliefs and things of that nature, it's all about annihilating Jews. It's not just about Israel. It's not about just the Jewish people. This is about Western civilization. It's about Christians. It's about gay people. It's about moderate Muslims. Anyone who doesn't believe their extreme Islamic stuff, they don't think you deserve to live. That's where it starts to become a problem for the States and Canada and everybody over here. This is a potential of instigating an entire world war. It's crazy. And a lot of people on the internet keep saying this started in 1948. This started in 1948. That's not true. If you're going to go back and really do the research on the conflict with Palestine and Israel, this goes back to biblical times. And never once, and you can fact check me, anyone who's watching this, please, because I love this. That piece of land that is now current day Israel has never been solely owned by any kind of Arab people, ever. The entire state of it, that has never, ever existed. Jerusalem is an extremely holy city. That's for Muslims, that's for Christians, that's for Jews. So I get where there's this tight fight about it, and I understand it. But the only way to resolve what's going on in the Middle East is peace. And that is not what Hamas wants. They just want to annihilate civilization as the West knows it.
So do you think because there's always, even, I can name like we did last week, there's always the side of one state or one country, then the other side. And then there's always those disruptors, those people that they just want chaos. And that's what you're speaking about. The ones that are creating the little gray area of the black and white, where it not literally black and white, but as far as right or wrong, or who's defending, who's being on the offensive. There's always those disruptors. Is that what you're talking about? Because I think that's what we mentioned when you talk about, as small as it is, or it was, where like January 6th in America, where it was like you had the Trumps, you had the Republicans, and then you had, the Democrats, and then you had people that just want to go and fuck shit up and create that chaos. And I think that's what we're not, as Americans, in my opinion, I think that we're not understanding, where yes, there's two countries involved, and it's a lot deeper than people think as far as religion, and it goes back centuries and so much. The disruptors are the ones that are really changing the whole opinion of what people think about what's going on.
100%. I think Iran is a place that feels a lot of pressure from the fact that if there's peace in the Middle East, it really is a huge threat to what Iran wants and who they want to be. And, you know, everybody out here, I shouldn't say everyone, that's a generalization. A lot of people are saying this is Palestine versus Israel, Muslim versus Jew. And I understand that. And I was actually speaking to Fort and I's mutual friend today, and I had told her that the other night I kind of got lost in a hole. I was on Instagram, I was on TikTok, and I got lost looking at accounts that are very pro-Palestine. And I was like, I'm curious what these people are watching. Like what is forming these sorts of opinions? And the propaganda of what they say Israel is doing to the Palestinians, where it's really Hamas doing these atrocities. They don't have clean water. There's sewage on the beaches. It's disgusting. It's if I wasn't educated and didn't go out of my way to research and look at the, you know, middle of not one side or the other, I would fall for this too. It is so sad what they're doing. And it's not even just about what's going on now. The fact that people can take the media and turn everything the way that they do is so scary for Americans in general, no matter what the topic is. It's a threat, and it's scary. It's crazy to think that we can't even get fact these days. Whether you're watching CNN, whether you're watching Fox, everything you have to fine tooth and comb. That's annoying. We should be able to watch the media and know that our government wants what's best for us. We want the facts. We don't want feelings. We want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like that's great that you went on other, like, you know, pro-Palestine stuff and see what's going on, because there's a lot of people that might not do that, and they might go out there and post some stuff that, like you said, is propaganda and is coming from one side that leans more towards it.
Most people aren't doing it.
No, most, yeah, it's crazy. That's why one reason I wanted to have you on as well, because I was told that you're very well versed on this. So I was like, perfect, like, you know, because I didn't really even start messing with like political stuff or any of this kind of nonsense, I guess, till I invested my money in stocks, and I was like, oh wait, I gotta kind of pay attention to this and
when it
make sense of it all.
Yeah, sure.
It's funny how that works. One of the things that I saw trending on Twitter today was that Colombia expelled the Israeli ambassador. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
What does that mean? Because, like I said, I'm not well versed on that. And what effects does that have to do with from what's going to happen after this? What ramifications will this have?
Well, here's the thing. It's not even just this is just not a thing that's just happening in Colombia. Like it's crazy what's going on. The more threat that happens with the anti-Semitism or against Zionism is going to just snowball. So let's backtrack a little bit to World War II. I didn't kill anybody. Okay. Adolf Hitler killed 6 million Jews. And if you think about that, going back to World War II, think about the kids they could have had, think about the grandkids they had, and how that all multiplies. So our population of Jewish people would be just so much larger. When things like this are happening and you're reading them in the news, it kind of just feeds that anti-Semitism. It feeds this look of, we hate Jews, Jews are the problem, this, that, and the other thing. And it's happening all over, you know, not specifically the way it's happening, what just happened. It's just, it's again, a threat to Western civilization. So it gets to a point of, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, and if you haven't, here's a good laugh for you. There have been trending on Twitter, trending on Instagram, signs of people, I'm trying really hard not to laugh, signs of people saying queers for Palestine. Let me fucking tell you how wild that is, okay? They would cut your head off and use it as a basketball, okay? Let's be real here. Let's start talking about the fact that Israel is the only Western civilization in the Middle East for hope that all around the world there's women's rights, gays' rights, minority rights. Like, what are we actually talking about here? I want the Palestinian civilians to be free just as much as the next guy. I do not believe that these people should be dying. As a Jew, I don't think that. As a pro Israel Zionist. I do not believe that. Hamas will shoot rockets towards Israel with no specific target. They want to see what they can hit. They want to see what sticks. Like, that's crazy. That's scary. And it's 25% of all rockets launched by Hamas in 2021, May of 2021, crashed within Gaza and killed their own civilians. They don't care. They don't care. So things like this, what's going on, fuels anti-Semitism all around the world.
Yeah, and me and Ford don't have an emotional tie to the game, but we do have friends and close friends and or people that we follow or follow back, whatever, that do post it. That's why we wanted to bring it up, because we've seen so many posts about it, and we wanted to educate, because I don't know much about it. And what better way to do it if you do have a podcast is to bring the platform to life and to have these conversations where they're recorded and they're documented. And I've had conversations with my friends as they come to my house, but for the most part, we're it's easy to just send a post and just say, pray for this and do this. And we've seen a lot, obviously, in America on one side with pray for Israel. And we've seen people in Miami going to, not rallies, I don't want to use that word, is gatherings of making sure that, the people that we know that are Jewish or from Israel are okay. But I also have the other side. I have a few people that I know on the Palestine side, and they're doing and saying the same exact thing. And for somebody that has no cultural tie, religious side on it, and no really, I don't want to say vested interest, but somebody that just wants to have a conversation, be able to talk about it, educated as much as possible. What do you feel about the American ties? Because there is a lot of, complex stuff behind the scenes with the U.S. government, with Israel, where we've always been tied to Israel, and we will always take that side. Is, if this is ignorant, let me know. But if I see a lot of posts that are about one side and one side only in America, I think something is a little fishy, or a little. I don't know if I got to do more education on the other side than now. I'm not saying I take the other side, but whether it's even in our country, it's Democrat, Republican, if I see, or COVID or taking boosters, I'm like, let me see the other side. Ukraine is another example. Thing. And that, and the Ukraine things came and went. People put Ukraine flags that have no affiliation with Ukraine. They just know it's going to get likes. It's going to, hey, I'm a good person. I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to support Ukraine, and I'm going to get all my boosters. That same ideology, in my opinion, I'm not going to speak for Ford, but I feel like he would agree with me, is going on right now, where it's like,
I'm on my ninth booster.
Yeah, if I don't support Israel, if I don't make a post, I look like a bad person. And me and Ford shared like LeBron James posting just a very neutral, a very well written post about, hey, I don't, let's support human life. Let's support that this war is not good. And just basic. And people were killing him in the comments, like, oh, you spent all your time and this is what you came up with. You could have easily chose the good side. And it's like, you're making a post. And I believe that, athletes shouldn't speak on it if they don't have to. You don't have to send a post. That doesn't make you a villain. That doesn't make you on one side or the other. But it's crazy that people vilify people that are just supporting humans in something like this. And same thing with Russia and Ukraine. And we've brought this up, and other topics that will forever become a thing, because war is not going away, and religion clashing will never go away. It's just crazy that you could not choose a side, but just want humans to do better is like a negative take in today's world on social media.
It's crazy. I don't know if you guys know who Jesse Itzler is. He's part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm obsessed with him.
I think I've
cutie pie in his 50s. And he is very loud and proud about like mental health and things of that nature. And he had posted a few days ago, like, I don't really understand why there's a side here. It's one side and it's anti-terrorism. Like that's what we're looking at here. And in America, with how far, again, I preface this, I'm a raging Republican, so loud and proud about it. The thing is with the woke left, it's everyone has to take a side for everything. And if you're not on that side,
You're
fuck you
against.
and the horse you rode in on. And it you just get so much crap for it, right? So my thing is and what I've tried to tell myself, I have grown up as a Jewish American, always knowing that anti-Semitism is something that exists. I walked around the other day with my Star of David and I covered it because I was nervous. So I also try to back up and understand, like you said, you guys don't have an emotional tie. You guys are like, here, this is what's going on. I want to educate myself, but like, we're not Jews, we're not Palestinian. This is hard. Like, where do we get our information from? And in the States, what happens is you don't make a side, you're a piece of shit, and that's it. But I try to understand, hey, this is a really complicated situation. This is not just 1948. This goes back to biblical times. A lot of this structure and the problems that happened started right after World War One. A lot of it, I was in Britain's hands in 1917. So I try to understand that this is really, really complicated. And I could understand why people don't want to speak out about it right away because they're not educated and they don't want to say something to whether it's offend Jewish people, Israelis, Palestinians, Muslim. And I think that's fair. I think there's too much pressure on people to be so informed with everything that's going on. And it's just not the reality of the world. There's too much crap going on. It's not fair. I don't think that it's fair. I think everyone's stance, Palestinian, Jewish, Israeli, American, is anti-Hamas because we do not support terrorism. We do not support burning babies, cutting up bodies, parading raped women. That's the thing. There's a video that has gone viral of a woman who her back, like you see her backside, and there's just blood from her hips down. So it's obvious
I've
she's been
seen it.
raped.
It's wild.
It's everywhere. And like who cares if she's Jewish? Who cares if she's Palestinian? She's a
It's a human being.
That
Mhm.
is a human being with basic human rights. So why, for the Jews, is it always, and this is something I've experienced, it's like, it's basic rights, but we need context. Context is really important, but just basic human rights, but just for the Jews. And you know what? That's how I feel, but I'm sure Black people feel that way. I'm sure the Palestinians feel that way right now, and it's terrible that America is not a safe space, that we can just support human rights no matter who it is. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I
It's a huge
definitely
problem.
agree. It 100% is a huge problem. It's just, I don't know what the root of it is. Honestly, I feel like as a society, we're advanced enough and we should be smart enough to where we could work together and coincide. But the higher powers create this propaganda and what's going on now and how the media portrays things to always have us at odds. And I also believe that they do this stuff to hide other things that are going on or to get us distracted from that kind of stuff. So that's why I always try and learn from everyone I talk to, because I'm going to learn something from everyone I talk to. One, I'm going to come to the conclusion that you kind of have a normal brain in your head and you can have a conversation and I'll keep talking to you, or you don't and I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to take you serious. I'm very
Right.
good with that for whatever reason. But I know how you said at the beginning of this, and we're kind of running short on time. I really appreciate you coming on and shedding some light on about what you have going on. It was very much appreciated. I thank you. We asked Adam this last week, and Ray asked him, and it was a great question. I'm going to ask you the same question. If people want to get education on this and knowledgeable about this, what source should they look into? Because as I just said, mainstream media isn't the best. It's a lot of propaganda. It's owned by a select few group of people that just want clicks and people watching it.
Right, their narrative to be pushed out.
Right, it's agenda pushing, like we talked about. Whatever the case may be, what are those options? What are those routes? And if you have anything that you want to promote, that you want to do on your end, and let the 3,700 people that are watching right now know, we would appreciate that as well.
Well, my favorite news source right now is Real News No Bullshit. I'm on their WhatsApp chain and their Telegram chain. The thing about that is, and I'm going to be very, very blunt about it, none of it is censored, and the images and videos are very disturbing. I know
sometimes
they came
that
out.
hard truth is the best way to go when you want to educate
honestly
yourself.
At the end of the day, that's what people. At least that's what I want. I want the truth.
That's what people need. That's what people need sometimes.
Yeah, and it's a great source. You know, they came out and they were like, we're getting so much crap about like the deaths in Palestine and all of this stuff, and you guys think we're anti-Israel. Like, no, we're on the ground and we're reporting what's happening and the deaths on both sides. Like, we're here to deliver the news, and we're not having an opinion. Like, that's not what we're here for. I've sent it to a ton of my friends. Some of them are on it. Some of them couldn't handle the images, which I definitely understand. I'd be careful. And again, as a raging Republican, I'd be careful about what you find on Fox. I'd be super careful about what you find on CNN. I posted something on my Instagram today that was CNN. It was Anderson Cooper. And I posted, like, anybody who's followed me for more than 45 minutes knows I'm the last person posting CNN crap. But it was so eye-opening and so well done. And if you can't look at the other side and try to understand the other people, there's going to be no resolve here at all. People are just going to keep dying, and it's going to turn into an entire world war. So my thing is I recommend really going back and doing the research, going back to seeing what happened from 1917 on. There's been proposals many times of a two-state resolution that the Arab countries and the Palestinians have said no to. And the only way we're going to be able to come together is to view people not as Jews, not as Israelis, not as Palestinians, not as Muslims, but that we're all people who deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, justice. We all deserve justice too, honestly, in this world, all the crap we're dealing with. So that's my recommendation. I think that it's really important to learn about anti-Semitism as a whole. I think it's really important that with what's going on, the same way with COVID, you know, Asian Americans got a ton of crap where they were like, what the hell, I just live here, I'm just a person trying to survive. I think it's important to treat everybody with respect. I think it's important, like, you know, Ford's saying, I can have a conversation with someone, figure out if they have brains, and if they don't, I move on, and that's it. Like, well, we just won't speak again. But give everybody the benefit of the doubt that what they have to say has purpose, it has feeling, it helps us understand each other as humans, because again, the only resolve here is peace.
Yeah, and in America, well said, perfectly said. And in America, it's
Hillary needs to run for office.
Yeah,
I think about it, honestly.
we'll vote for this Hillary, maybe not the other one. But there's in history for the last few centuries, people forget that the Japanese in the 40s, you know, with World War II, that they were put in kind of like concentration camps where they were imprisoned if you were a Japanese American. And people don't realize that, like, wow, at one point, because you were Japanese in America and had a job and did everything right, that just because Japan went to war or sided with Germany, that now you didn't have rights anymore. And that was a real thing. That's I almost have to remind myself where there's so many times in American history, because we are a cluster, we're the land of the free, where you could come and start over. But there's, in that start over period, there will be a lot of trials and tribulations. And we've seen it with the Jewish group, you know, Americans. And we'll continue to see it, because there'll always be something that you could have going on in the rest of the world that may not be your belief. You know, we've seen it in, you know, we were talking about UFC and sports before, when Ukraine and Russia were at war. They wouldn't show Russian flags. They wouldn't let Russian fighters fight.
Dude, they were booing Russian fighters just because they were Russian. It's like, bro, you don't know what this man is. Like, you don't know.
I understand. Yeah, and I
don't think that's Putin's homeboy. Like,
yeah, that and
he's not drinking with Putin, dog.
And as somebody on this podcast, and me and Ford are kind of like I said, we're down the middle, but we are left and right depending on the topic. But you can't dismiss this person for all their hard work and where they're from, because their country is doing something. If they and haven't spoke out about it, like, you can't you know, lower their pride in their country and or self-respect because what their country's doing is what, has nothing to do with them. I understand 100%. If they do speak out about it and maybe are a little bit more vocal, how you could but to just make a thing about, we're just going to shut you down and we're not going to have Russian fighters fight anymore. I thought that was poorly done on the American side. So I want to just wrap it up by saying thank you so much for coming on. Sure. We had back-to-back people on this podcast that I never met. Adam last week, never talked to you, Hilary, and I'm glad we had two. We're 2 for 2 with having this conversation. We probably won't have this conversation like this moving forward, but at least we had it, and we're able to say leading up to our 100th episode that we were able to diversify ourselves. Of most of the time we talk sports, we talk dumb shit, we show dumb videos, and we joke around, but we are trying to show a side of us that we can have great conversations, and we appreciate you coming on and talking your side, but also being honest and open.
Do you keep up with politics and news and current events?
Oh yeah, like when I say raging Republican, like I'm not kidding. Like
when the word raging hit, I knew she was. It's
the double R and it doesn't stand for Rolls Royce. Hey, so listen, if something crazy is happening or going on, can I reach out to you and we talk about it? Maybe even on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
I'm always here. I try to educate myself. I try to be middle ground as much as I can. I want what's right for Americans. I want what's right for people, and I think we should all hop on that bandwagon.
Hey, Hilary, if this is your first podcast or whatever you've done, and you said you were nervous about 20, 30 minutes ago, you've knocked it out the park with how you conducted and how you had this conversation with us, and we're very appreciative of it, and hopefully our listeners are too.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. I was like sweating when we started, but like now.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
nice.
That's awesome. That lets us know everything in a good way. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys.
Trump 2024.
I'm gonna back that right.
All right, Hilary. Enter the lab. Exit the lab. Thank you.
Have a good one,
you so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Bye. Dope. I fucks with that. I'm here for it. That's
back-to-back episodes of like I said, if people that usually listen to us that maybe that caught you off guard last week and maybe this week that I don't want to hear it again. I'm listening to the news. I'm seeing things on social media, but hopefully if you do listen to us, that if we want to have a real conversation, we will have that and we'll bring it both sides. We talked about it last week. Hey, does anybody want to come on and talk next episode on the other side? Open, free.
Yeah.
Talk to us. And we did have a few people. So thank you for it.
I want to shout out Kirsten Kiki for that. She put me in touch with Hilary, and she put me in a group chat with her, and we talked
Hilary,
about it.
Don't forget to subscribe and like and follow us.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, all that, at Into the Lab. So, look, I know you said you wanted to fucking keep this short or whatever, but I have a question for you, man. And it's something normally I would wait till the next episode just because of time, but I don't want to wait till the next episode. And something that I need to not get off my chest, but something that I need some information on or some advice on. And this is from a question that we got on the email. Did you see it?
We had a
you
question.
Didn't see the question in Lab Talk? Yeah, we had a question in the email in Lab Talk. Maybe you didn't see it. So someone asked, they were like, that they've been in cahoots, they've been associating themselves with, someone of the opposite sex, a female, a woman, and they like their presence, they like hanging out with them, they like what they bring to the table, right? And it's something that they're not used to, right? So they don't really know how to handle it. And
is this the type of thing where you're asking for a friend?
Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. No, someone sent it in the email, dog.
You know how people do that, like, hey, I'm asking for a friend.
No, someone sent it in the email. Are you looking for it right now?
No, I'm not looking for it anymore.
Well, yes.
Anymore. I'm afraid to look through it.
So you, as someone that's in a loving, caring, marriage, and
yes,
y'all seem to excel at marriage. When is that point where? So this is going to be like two questions in one. When is that point where one, that this person you could see being in a relationship with? And two, when is that point that you have that conversation that you guys are going to be exclusive and monogamous, if that's your thing? And later on, you find out that, you know, you guys might do poly or whatever. When do you have that conversation? And is it the man that should bring it up, or is it the woman that should bring it up?
Great question. I'll take the first question. If you're asking me, when do you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
for me, you don't really ever know. There's no magical moment. There's no. I feel like all that like fairy tale movie all the bullshit that is put in our brain for a relationship, or most of the things that are put in our brain about a relationship that you think happens doesn't happen. You know, we watch, you know, movies all the time. We see celebrity relationships. We're seeing, you know, Kelsey and Swift go off, and we're like, wow, that's so magical. And it's like, I hate to say, but most of the time, those relationships are just not going to work. We just found out this week, we're not just found out, but like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, who have been in a relationship for like 20 plus years and were thought at one point as the most magical, perfect relationship. Now it's being shown that they've been broken up and divorced, not on paper, for like 6-7 years. And they've been in an open relationship and they've been doing their thing. And what I've realized is, you know, long answer short is that, or short answer long, is that no relationship is perfect. No relationship is ABC 1, 2, 3. You're dating somebody, you go, that's the moment. This is the time. I think it just takes maturity on both ends, and takes maturity from me, and I'm still maturing in my relationship. So I don't have it figured out, but I think for the most part, people that are in either a short-term relationship, long-term, I think there's no time, there's no point that it says this is when I knew they'd be the one. I personally think that's all bullshit when people say that. It could happen from time to time where, you know, there's a moment, but most of the time when you're living life, you're an idiot. You're making bad decisions. You're fucking up most of the time, and that's mainly the dude. And it just happens. And you know, sometimes you just fall into. It just might sound cheesy, but sometimes you just fall into love. It just literally happens. It just evolves that way. So I think that's what happened with me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I feel like if they cut out the bullshit and don't want to sound cool and so awesome and full of themselves, I think it's a lot of it is not planned. A lot of it is just living life and maturing and growing up and making mistakes, learning from it, making more mistakes, learning from it again. That's just my honest answer. I don't know if that helped at all.
No, I feel like that's how it should be. I think that's how it is. But also, that just because I feel some way about it doesn't mean that the person that I'm doing this with, or the person that whoever sent this email is doing this with, that doesn't mean they feel the same way. You know, this could be old school or whatever, but usually they say that women like fall in love quicker or whatever. Not me, man. I be falling in love, bro. I ain't even afraid to say it. Like, I'm a lover boy. Like, that shit just happens, bro.
Damn, you've been listening to Drake, huh?
Nah, the new Drake album sucks. It doesn't suck. It's mid. But don't get me off my point, Doug. Do you think that it should? Who do you think should bring it up? And how far along should you have this conversation? Because as Broward Vintage said, the convo needs to be had, and I feel that the convo needs to be had as well. You can't just be with someone and do whatever and have sex and spend time with them, and then automatically assume that you guys are together.
There in 2023, the lines have become more gray. Where like back in the day, it's like you ask a man, ask a woman on a date. A man pays for the meal. A man does this. But if we're like going linear and women are progressing in society as they have over the last 70, 80 years, and I don't mean to bring this deep, but it goes a lot into psychology or like the social aspect of it, where it's like most of the men that I know that are in a relationship, some of the women are making more money than the men. So it's like,
I
Buddy
ain't got a
can't be
problem with that.
you know what I
I
mean?
ain't got a
Buddy
problem
can't be
with that.
paying for everything. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I've always been on the understanding of like, as long as you have like, as long as it's not 90-10, you know, if I'm making 90% more money, that makes sense. If I'm making 80-70, yeah, I should probably pay for more. But if we're kind of like working towards the same goal, we're trying to better each other, and you have a real relationship, you should never be, as a man, paying for all, if not the super majority of anything, or going, because if you're trying to be in a serious relationship and having a woman by your side and being in a real committed relationship, I think all that prehistoric social shit is out the window, in my opinion. That's how I conducted our relationship since day one, and I forever will still do that. Whether somebody makes, whether it's economic in our relationship, or it doesn't matter. It's like, once you're in a relationship, it's like all that bullshit gets thrown out the window. The people that are tweeting these days and saying this and that about,
don't listen to
how you should conduct yourself, those are people that will be always single. Those people will always be single, always searching for the man or woman that they think. Like, you got to conduct your relationship as it is, because nothing is just black and white, copy and paste. So I've used the black and white thing a lot, because that's how I conduct my life. There's some things that are like yes and no, and this is the standard, or there's some things where it's like a little messy. And I think that most relationships can't be chosen or be taken out of a book. Everybody's different from where you come from, how you were raised, what you were in the past, what you are in the future, what you want, what your goals are. So it's complicated to just, like, such a simple question. I always, since I was like, I think in my early 20s, people ask me things like that, and I always have a long-winded answer, because I think it's not as simple as being like, yep, man should pay for everything. Yep, man should do this. A woman should do this. It's like, we have standards and rules in our household that most relationships don't have. And we get along fine, and we're thriving.
Yeah, like y'all just like call each other names out of endearment.
You have to. Sometimes you got to vent that shit out, bro.
Hey, I'm here for it. I feel like
the people that claim they have a perfect relationship, whether they tell it to you or show it to you on social media, are not real. It's just not real. I'll tell you right here.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I agree with that.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to be talked about, and it needs to be said. And I don't know, it's tough to, know. We're not going to know. Like you said, it's just going to happen. And two, also, when to have that conversation is also tough to bring up. It's weird to bring up. It could be anxious for some people to bring up, because what if you bring it up and they don't feel that same way? That can happen.
That's a chance you're living with every single time.
Right, of course. And then after, some people can't handle rejection well.
It's the same way where you like lean in for the kiss. You don't know if that person is going to reject it or be in a relationship exclusively. You don't know if that person is going to be like, nah. Even to the point where obviously you should know if you're asking them to marry you in engagement. You probably should know, unless you're like socially awkward.
100%.
But everything before engagement is, you don't fucking really know. You have no idea what the other person is thinking. Some people are just like, go about their business, and there you go. Brianna said it well. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Michael Scott. Sometimes you got to put it out there.
Says Wayne Gretzky, and then it says Michael Scott.
I will always be a proponent of putting yourself out there. I'm not saying I followed this advice my whole life, but you're better off putting yourself out there every single time versus never, because you will blow so many opportunities.
Expand on that a little bit. Put yourself out there. How? Expand on that just a little bit, maybe one or two.
I feel like I'm giving advice to you, and this is not a random call.
No, it's a question, bro.
No, it's just like I said, I haven't followed this advice my whole life, but.
So wait, so you mean if it was me asking, you wouldn't give me the advice?
No, I'm going to give you the advice, but you're better off putting yourself out there and being vulnerable more times than trying to be the tough guy that like, nah, I don't have to say this or do this or act like this, because you will. The feeling of regret, and I mean this in general, the feeling of regret of not taking that leap, of not asking that question, of not doing something, will hurt you long term or dwell with you more than if you did it. Because there's times where I did it and I'm like, damn, that person didn't respond the way I wanted. But the times that I didn't do anything definitely sit with me. Like I said, not
they
now,
haunted you more
at that time. It haunted me more. Like, fuck,
damn.
The unknown of it hurts so much more, for sure. I think that's natural. I think
that's church.
Human. That is church.
Yeah.
I just gave some good advice. Hopefully you guys are video recording this, because you guys can take it to the shed.
You can take it to the house. No, I feel, yeah. Nah, that was a good question from the audience. Laptop.
Great question from the audience.
We do this every week. People. No, not from me.
Oh, okay.
From the audience. I'm glad that someone finally, sent us an email. We try and do lap talk. We'll do it every week if someone sends some stuff in. We finally got something in. But yeah, no, there was a little more to it. But like you said, dude, this was a good episode, man. We're really getting good at this shit, and I'm fucking hyped for 100, and I'm fucking hyped for this weekend.
Yes,
dog.
I like that we don't even have time to talk about football. Obviously, your Dolphins going into Eagles. You guys are same record, 5-1.
NBA
Giants
starting soon.
NBA starting. Panthers get their first dub.
NHL, yeah.
I know Kiki's a big fan.
Yeah.
I'll be at the home opener on Thursday. Hit me up. We'll be there. Me and Bree and a bunch of others.
Okay. I'm sure.
Hell yeah. I'm going to buy tickets right after this game. Right after we record. But shout out Avito, 4-2 this week in NFL picks. He wants us to shout him out every single time. He's making money. And I'm going to just go through what I have. Hijack on Apple TV. Me and Bree been watching Hijack. If you don't have Apple TV has the best shows out of any app that I own, and I own them all, trust me. Hijack on Apple TV is great. Look it up. All the other shows they come out with are fucking top-notch quality shit. I wanted to see The Exorcist Believer, ESCO's movie review. Great movie. I'm not a big horror film person, but I was a little faded. I got a tattoo. Friday the 13th, I got a little toad. Do you want to show?
Mm-hmm. You got a toad? Did it hurt?
Yeah, I got a little toad.
Cry?
No, I didn't cry, but my palms are sweaty. Spaghetti.
Knees, arms are heavy.
Yeah, tattoos are not fun.
You cried.
I didn't cry. I don't fuck with people that love tattoos. That's kind of weird, because it was a little outline, and that shit is not comfortable. It's irritating as fuck. Anyway, this Friday, Killers of the Flower Moon comes out. Leo, DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese. I'm gonna see it next week, so we'll have a review on that. But go see The Exorcist Believer. Out in theaters for Halloween. It was probably one of the best Exorcist movies I've seen, as far as plot, as far as what they did and everything like that. So I became a believer in that movie, pun intended. What do you got for some of the end? I saw 10 this weekend. That was all right. It was pretty good. I haven't seen much of the other Saw movies. You haven't saw the other Saws?
No, I haven't saw the other Saws. I started watching Fall of the House of Usher. I got to go back and watch it from the beginning again, because I was doing some things. I was a little distracted while I was on, so I have to go back and watch it. Actually, take it in. Pause. Linus.
He did say a super pause-worthy thing that I wanted to point out. He said something about entering Hilary, and I was like, ugh.
No.
Yeah,
Stop.
you did.
Don't do that.
Rewind the
Don't
tape.
do that. No, go back.
That's
not.
Go back and watch it. You did say you were going to enter her,
no.
which obviously, respectfully, he would not do that. But
look,
it needed to be.
No. Relax. Don't put that evil on me. Fall of the House of Usher was good. What I watched, I knew I heard it before. You didn't? Was you that posted a picture of it?
Of what?
Fall of the House of Usher on your story,
definitely.
Or was it Bree? What are y'all posted? I think, or else I'm just like fucking blurred
Tripping.
in life. Yeah, I might just be tripping, honestly. But
Tripping. What else you got?
dog.
Hey, don't fumble a bag on the end of this episode. We had a great episode.
No, hold on. I just thought of something. Yo, my cat ran out the house.
Okay.
As some of y'all viewers may know, he pops up, the orange guy. Pops up on here. He's a little hoe. He likes to show his ass all the time. He likes to show his
cats are whores with
on the pod, bro. It's so nasty with a guy, bro. We're not even getting paid for it, dog. You can't be showing butthole for free. He ran out the house Friday morning, and I didn't know where he went. He usually will hide under the fucking car next door, but he wasn't there. He didn't come back. He's a little bitch, so he usually comes back pretty quick. But he was gone all day Friday, all day Saturday. And I fucking heard a meow at midnight last night. Very faint meow. I thought I was tripping because, I was shout out the blunt I was on. But I thought I was tripping. It was very, very, very fucking faint, bro. So, my fucking dumbass, I meow back. I was like, meow. Just as faint. So I hear another meow. And I meowed it back again. So it kept meowing. So I'm like, yo, I'm not tripping anymore. Like, this is going on. So yeah, I started doing and I start walking towards the damn fucking meow. All this while I got the blunt in my hand. So I hear it, and it's under the fucking car in the house in front of us. He's never been there.
Cats don't usually go far.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't.
Yeah.
And
if you lose a cat, don't trip. They're probably like right next door.
Right. Yeah. So I look under the car and I see a cat, but I can't really see that it's him because, it's shadow. It's fucking midnight. There's no light there. And then I keep meowing and he pops his fucking head out. And I'm like, this motherfucker. I was like, Loki. So I didn't immediately go at him. I kept like meowing at him and like going like this, and he slowly crept up to me. And while he was at arm's reach, I fucking grabbed him. Bro, I almost started crying, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. I almost started crying. I found that cat.
You got that pussy back.
Bro, for real. I feel like that's good karma because I helped some dude at the gas station after I was off. I helped him start his van. But it didn't. It was still bad. It was just his battery and his alternator. But I helped him like push that shit. And I was gonna go with him to Walmart, and it was gonna be a whole thing.
Not a coincidence when things happen the same day or the same reasonable time. When you do good, you get good. So that's not a coincidence.
And you know what's nuts? I was the whole time I'm helping this guy. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, no good deed goes unpunished. Like, what are you doing? But look, I got my cat back, so. Loki, bro. Now he got fucked up, bro. He got like a little cut on his paw. He got a little cut under his lip. Character like, now. Yeah, he fucked around and found out. He thought he was me going to Philly or some shit. I don't know what he got going on.
Protect yourself. Wear bulletproof. Wear bulletproof
for real.
To Philly. Any last words to end episode 98 on?
I love everyone. I love everyone that follows us. I love everyone that likes our stuff. I love everyone that repost.
I like the people that don't listen, and I like the people that
love them too.
About us.
Yeah, I love them too. Tell your friend to tell a friend. You got a lot more stickers left.
I do.
If I communicate with Berto to pick some up, can you give him some?
Sure.
We'll smack some around Philly. All right, I'll talk to Berto about that.
Yeah, I'll link up with Berto.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got, man.
Right,
thank you, Hilary.
Yeah, awesome conversation. Appreciate you, Kiki, for putting that link together. And it was way better of a conversation. Like Adam last week, I thought that was way better than it would go. This Hilary conversation was doubled up on that. So thank you, Kiki, for putting that together, and also Fort as well. That's episode 98. 2 more episodes for 100. We're going to have a lot of people that were on the podcast previously on it. If you want to hop on, let us know now so we could book you, because probably have an hour. Shit, the episode could go 2 hours. I don't really care.
Bro, I'll stay on streaming till stay on streaming till midnight for 100. I know you might do other things, and we might just go live, and we might drop one portion only on the Spotify. But that
will happen in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Episode 99 will be recorded on Monday
action,
night.
boss.
We're not sure about what time it was. Appreciate Broward Vintage, Billionaires Row.
One-stop
Appreciate
shop.
the guests from today. And we'll have some fun right before episode
Will Smith
100.
slapped the wrong person.
Episode 98. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, Enter the Lab, Exit the Lab. Peace.
Shit. 1.